I'm Russian. I live in England, but right now I'm back in Moscow, looking for a real English pub and for the answer to one big question: who drinks more, Russians or Brits? I used to think definitely Russians until I came to England. We are very different, so to get to the bottom of it, I asked myself 5 simple questions. What we drink, how, when, where, and most important, why we drink. One of them ties us together. Which one? Let's find out. I checked Reddit. Lots of stories, both sides. Russians win. No, Brits do. My reality, Brits usually beat me, but I'm no pro. So I asked someone who actually knows this stuff. Denis Puzaryov, the author of the bestseller book called History of Russia in 14 bottles of vodka.
Brits are great drinkers. We are on the same wave. They were kings of Russian bars and pubs.
Ask anyone in the world, what do Russians drink? And you'll hear
2 shots of vodka.
Ask what Brits drink, and you'll hear beer, and you'll be close but wrong. The truth is stranger and a bit more French than you think. Historically, Russians and Brits drank totally different stuff. In medieval England, daily drinks were ale and small beer brewed from barley and malt. Meanwhile, in medieval Russia, it was another story. Kvass, Braga, it's wheat grain brews. And kvass survive until today. Look, here is my wife chasing vodka with a soup on that ancient drink kvass. It's called akroshka, basically cold veggie salad on liquid bread, only in Russia. We're off to an English pub, but quick detour to a ryumochnaya, Russian traditional shot bar. Yeah, I could compare it with pubs, but it's different. Born in late Imperial Russia, ryumochnayas really boomed in Soviet times.
After the Second World War, there are a lot of veterans. Russian police can't do anything with them because they are veterans. They are highly respected people in society. They drink a lot in the center of the city. Some of them began fighting or something like that. Khrushchev thought that it will be a good idea to establish ryumochnaya, small places where they can still drinking, but not on the streets.
And now they're having a hipster renaissance. Now they also serve nastoikas, homemade infused spirits from berries to horseradish. So we came across the first traditional Russian ryumochnaya, and now Ira will be tasting the real Russian traditional nastoikas. But these are not the weak nastoikas. They are not 20, they are 40. So it's a very, very strong vodkas, like moonshine with different tastes. So now Ira will be tasting this, because I can't, unfortunately. But all those kiddie drinks couldn't last forever. The strong booze changed the game. In Russia, distillation takes hold by the 16th century. People love that rough bread wine, ancestral vodka, and it becomes their go-to strong drink. And by the 19th century, the state standardizes the clear 40% vodka we know today. Mendeleev didn't invent it, as a myth says. It was created by bureaucrats.
That's a story about why Russians drinking too much strong alcohol. In Siberia, there was a lot of tribes who live somewhere in the forests, but they should pay taxes. Can't do their own alcohol, so they came to the cities drinking, paying their taxes. They made them all alcohol addicts. To collect taxes in a huge country like Russia, that's quite difficult. They thought they need a product that everybody will buy. In the price of these products, they put all the taxes, and it was vodka.
In the British Isles, distillation shows up even earlier. In the 18th century, London goes gin mad. At the peak of the gin gaze, 1 in 6 houses sold it, and yet beer still kept the crown during all these years. And the modern twist. After the USSR, Russia went through beerification. Big brands moved in. Beer even took the top spot for a while. I still remember beer was sometimes cheaper than water.
Russia, after collapse of Soviet Union, needs foreign investments. And one of the first companies who came to the market was the beer companies, like Carlsberg, like a Heineken. They pay taxes, but very, very little, and that's why the beer was extremely cheap.
Today, it's roughly half beer, half spirits. The rest is wine. Britain, in 2016, the first time ever, wine became #1. A nation of pubs is turning into a nation of Sauvignon. My first week in London after moving from Russia. Tuesday lunch, new job, everyone orders drinks. Fine, I'm new, it's summer. Then comes Wednesday, then Thursday. Turns out, in London, all weekdays look suspiciously like Friday. Pubs at noon packed. Apparently, having a pint at lunch isn't a sin. In Russia, it's usually taboo. At lunch, people will whisper, alcoholic. Society won't forgive, and colleagues too. Fine, suits may have vodka on business meetings. Unemployed? Yes. Normal workers? Don't.
I would not say it's banned, but attitude for the people who drink in work time, not very friendly.
And Brits, they can drink anytime, and I swear they thrive on slight discomfort. Rain, wind, freezing cold, doesn't matter. Crowds still outside pubs, on curbs, on benches with pint in hand. Vodka at least pretends to warm you up. Beer? No, not at all. I think that there is another ryumochnaya here, a shot bar. Let's have a peek. Is it alive now? Almost empty, but I'll have a shot. Cheers, guys. Yes, today is Monday. City is buzzing. I visited like 5 pubs and bars, and they're empty. I'm sure in London it would be different. And then drinking at kids' event, that blew my mind. Once I took my son to a morning children's show in Richmond Theatre. Bar wide open. Zero judgment, 100% understanding. Why it's different in Russia? In the Soviet Union, weekday drinks was basically a crime. The party took care of it. Posters everywhere, sobriety patrols, no daytime sales. Weekends, people drank. Weekdays, no chance. You'd get reprimand, lose your job, shame the whole family. And that reflects state. Even now, it's a thing. In Britain today, many say a lunch pint is not acceptable, but you still see it. No big government campaigns. People self-regulate. I think it's great. Britain is drinking less than ever. Meanwhile, in Westminster, bars open all day. Maybe that's why debates sound so cheerful. What do you think? Did you know Russians once got Americans drunk? In space. Officially booze is banned up there, but during Shuttle Mir, Russian cosmonauts shared tiny floating bubbles of cognac to colleagues. So yeah, Russians can drink anywhere and overcome any hardships, but we still choose comfort. Home, family, close friends, a table loaded with snacks most foreigners fear. But I think Brits might get it though.
Spotted dick, sir? What? Spotted dick.
I think he's offering you food.
Dinner, a bottle, and hours of toasts. Politics, philosophy, till late. Kitchen is our pub. Brits? That's hardcore socializing. Public house is second home. I see it every day in London. It's where you meet, argue, flirt, cry. William Blake said, a good local pub has much in common with a church. But here's the sad bit. From the 60s, the amount of pubs fell hard in Britain and falling. For many, that's history, their youth, their memories, maybe where they met their partner. Please tell me your story in the comments. Now off licenses and chains squeeze them. Gen Z drinks less and socializes online. Meanwhile, in Russia, across the biggest country on earth, only about 7,000 pubs and bars. On my way to English pub, I found one of the most trendy shot bar in Moscow. There are around 1,000 pubs, bars and ryumochnaya shot bars in Moscow. It sounds like a lot, but actually it's nothing compared to London. I always thought Britain was all about traditions and rituals. Came in England and kept seeing just 2. Maybe I missed something. Tell me if I did. First one I totally messed up at first. Pub rounds. Everyone buys a round for the whole table. I didn't know about that. I insisted I could afford my own beer. Then silence came. Okay, lesson learned. Second, last orders.
Shots. Who wants shots?
First time I nearly shat myself. I was under the bell when the barman yelled, "Last orders!" Come on, we just started. In Russia, the pickles aren't even sliced by then. In Russia, different story. Rituals everywhere. Late, penalty shot. To the loo during a toast, penalty. Youngest at the table, yep. You can black out on penalties alone. And toasts are like an exam. A proper toast is a story, with a metaphor and a joke. First toast, for the meeting. Second, for the parents. Funerals, no clinking. Sometimes someone smashes glasses for luck. Just as shocking as the pub bell. My favorite, na pasashok, one for the road. Why all these rules? Some say it's magical thinking. Some say it kept vodka under control to rule the cows. To me it feels warm and homely. Brits, though, are a bit tougher. Once at a wedding in Essex, I heard poems in the toast from bridesmaid, but most of the time, anything longer than a cheers is rare. And Brits usually don't chase with food. Pub crawls for hours, pint after pint, no snacks. Russians, always food. Vodka with pickles, beer with salty fish, borscht with a short is a classic. Anyway, different strategies, same hangover. Cheers to that.
Cheers, Chelsea.
Cheers, Robbie.
So I think the English pub is around the corner, but I decided to stop near another ryumochnaya. Let's go inside. I walked and wondered, do Russians do ryumochnaya crawl? And then I doubted, because 2 stops and you are finished. In Vina Veritas, we answered 4 questions. And yeah, Brits and Russians drink differently. But the why, that's the interesting part. Surveys say people in both countries often say taste. Really? Taste? Come on, there are tastier things in life. Tell me in the comments, is the taste real thing to you? The rest I do understand. Stress and socializing. Pub or kitchen, same thing. Friends and a brief escape. The world's gone mad and it's very dedicated in this. Of course people drink. So, who wins in the end? Russians or Brits?
Depends on the rules. If it will be team competition, Brits will win. If it will be individual, I think that we will find a guy who will never beaten by any Brits.
But the data in 2016 basically a draw, including unrecorded brews. By 2026, World Health Organization says the tables turn. So officially, Brits are winning the drinking race. But Russia, though, has more extremes. Higher drinking disorders, even when liters per person look similar. The good news? Both nations are drinking less than before. Maybe for once, everybody wins. So it seems I found it. A real English pub in Moscow. The one I loved. Let's go inside? And you know what? English and Irish pubs here aren't even exotic anymore. Before everything happened, Moscow loved St. Patrick's Day. Crowds dressed in green marching through the city. And in the end, it's not really about what people drink, or when, or where. It's about why. To meet, to cope, to feel a bit less alone. And whatever is in this glass, we'll get it through together, right? It can be an alcohol-free beer, like I have now, right now. And honestly, it's not that bad thing. Cheers, guys. Будьте здоровы.